What's up? Welcome back to Fumble Fever. If you're just joining us from the last video, we thank you. If you haven't seen it yet, we encourage you to go watch it after this one. We did a recap of the Georgia USC game. Things got a little heated, maybe. It might be something you want to look at. So make sure you go like and subscribe on our YouTube channel, and make sure you keep up with all the updates. We got a lot of games going on as usual in the college football field, and a good many ranked versus ranked matchups, including Oregon versus Washington. Washington has the Ducks at home. We haven't seen a lot about Oregon since their very first game with Auburn, and
they kind of fell off after the Auburn loss.
That's right, and we haven't really seen much from Washington in general. All we really know is Georgia quarterback
they've been
Jacob Easton is over there slinging it around. What's your thoughts on that game?
I see Oregon going into Washington and winning this one. I think Hubert's going to have a good game. A little bit better than Easton for Washington. I see probably about 28-24 maybe.
Okay.
It's going to be a very close one.
Yeah, I agree.
I think Oregon's offense is just a little bit better than Washington's.
Right. I have to agree with that.
Even though Washington's quarterback Easton is really good, I liked him at Georgia, and I really like him at Washington. But yeah, Oregon's gonna win it.
Okay, I don't believe in much, I guess, in Jacob Easton as you might. I do believe, however, in Justin Herbert. It is only to say though, and the key for Washington to being able to pull I don't know if they're upset or not, but to be able to win this game would be for Washington to be able to blitz Herbert. Because I don't know if you've seen this stat, and I don't have the exact numbers memorized, but every time that Herbert is blitz versus no blitz, the completion percentage is way, way, way off. I mean, astronomically off when he's blitzed. It's really bad. Really bad.
So he pretty much freaks out almost.
I guess so. I don't know. Yeah, I suppose he just flips out and just
tosses it.
I was gonna say throws a duck, but that's actually fairly fitting. But he just if Washington can get pressure, and I think they probably can, then they're gonna have a field day and a big time win. Otherwise, I definitely see Oregon's offense taking care of business, even though it's in Washington. I see Oregon pulling away with the upset and flying high in their yellow, green, whatever color they decide to come out in that day. If we can stay in the West, we do have another monstrous game in the Pac-12 against two teams that one in Utah that started high and kind of went low, and the opposite in Arizona State that started low and kind of started climbing high, especially with a big win over Michigan State early in the season. Both of these teams are ranked as of right now, and you got Arizona State taking on Utah.
Yeah, I got Arizona State. This isn't my upset pick, but I got Arizona State.
Okay, Fort's down for you.
Oh yeah.
I'm thinking Utah, and the reason I'm thinking Utah is because of your go-to answer defense. This is different than the type of defense that we saw when Arizona State saw Michigan State earlier in the year. I think this Utah defense is actually, believe it or not, I think they're nastier than Michigan State's defense.
And if I can stop you there.
You can?
I do love Utah's running back. If they can't stop their running back, Utah's going to run all over them. But I feel like Arizona State's defense is stout enough to hold them.
Right.
So that's my pick.
So how are you feeling, I guess, this game point wise? Like, do you think it's a low scoring game, or you think they surprise some people?
I think it is a low scoring because they both have some really good defenses. Maybe 24, 21, 23 in that range.
That sounds about right to me.
Maybe 30.
Okay. I guess it's just I hate the fact that the Pac-12 in general, being on the West Coast, so many people don't get to see them because of all these late night games. It's rough trying to watch a lot of really good programs. The Pac-12 gets a lot of
hate.
Yeah, a lot of hate, discontent.
Which most of it is.
Which most of it's deserved. Yeah. But because of that, everybody says there's two Pac-12 teams. Who cares?
Mm-hmm.
You should care about this one. You should care about the last one because they're going to be great games.
Yeah, this is going to be a must-watch game, I think.
And this could be one that helps decide the Pac-12 South, especially with Utah and their chances of taking the table there, and then Oregon and Washington.
And Utah is 4-1, right, or 5-1?
However many games they've played, they've only lost.
Yeah. So they're pretty much the only hope now for the playoff. Is it Utah and Oregon?
Yeah, I mean, I would say Oregon still has that shot as well. They certainly obviously have to beat Washington coming up, but just the fact that they lost to Auburn in the fashion that they did is going to give them a little bit of props. It would be really interesting. Honestly, I'd love to see Utah somehow just sneak their way in there, because I'd like to see Lee Corso's face after he made that pick. Hey, I mean, make him like a hero if you're the only one out of millions.
Yeah, nobody's going to believe that.
And I'm not going to believe that. Mark my word for this, Utah's not headed to the playoffs. No. I'm just going to say that now, but it'd be cool to see.
Yeah, of course, I don't think so, since I think Arizona State's going to win. But
well, yeah, you got me there. That is true. But if we do have a game actually on our list that does have a really big implication on the playoff race, and that is Michigan versus Penn State. This is College Game Day.
Penn State all the way. It's the last 4 or 5 years, this game has been blowouts either from Michigan or Penn State. I don't think it's gonna be a blowout.
Okay.
But I don't think it's gonna be close. You know what I mean? I think it's gonna be
kind of like a 10-14 type of deal. I think I knew what you meant by that.
I think they're going to pull away late. Okay. Penn State is with their defense. They're probably at least one defensive score.
Okay. I'm gonna say that I do have Penn State, but it is gonna be a blowout. And I feel like I am saying this every week when whoever's playing Michigan. We'll go with the guys playing the Big Blue, because I just don't. You
can't believe them, can you?
I can't. I can't get anything from them that makes me jump on that Michigan bandwagon. Period. I am starting to jump with Penn State though, because they've been surprising me. They've been scoring a lot of points, a whole lot of points, and on some teams it's like, yes, in a sense they're somewhat down, not the best of the best in the Big Ten, but they're still Big Ten defenses, and that's saying something. The amount of points that they've been scoring. Penn State's at home. I think they're going to have a whiteout. I always love Penn State in a whiteout.
Oh yeah.
And that's probably one of my bucket list places to go is Penn State at night on a whiteout. It's going to be absolutely wild. So even if it is a blowout, like I think it's going to be, there's absolutely no reason that anyone shouldn't watch this game. I can guarantee that. I'm thinking probably about 8 o'clock kick on ABC. So plenty of people are going to have the channel. You got to tune in.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You have to. And if you do live in this area, you have a chance to, because both of the local teams are playing noon kickoffs. And we'll start with 12, maybe 12:30 kick, I believe, for Clemson and Louisville. Who you got?
I got Clemson all the way.
Okay.
Not even close.
You don't see any
There's no
sliver of hope for Louisville?
They'll score points, but they won't. There's no chance they're gonna win.
It's not a 70 to something this time, right?
No. It's nowhere close.
Okay. Yeah, I think Louisville's improved. I think Jaywan Pass, the quarterback for Louisville, is way better than he was last year.
Oh yeah.
I love their
leaps and bounds.
Yeah, leaps and bounds. I love their head coach hire. I think he's done a phenomenal job. I've actually watched some. What's the word I'm looking for? It's a documentary.
Yep.
I've watched a documentary on Louisville earlier in the season, closer to the beginning, and got an inside look at the locker room and the type of culture that he's built there and the way that he's been trying to turn things around. So I do like what I'm seeing from Louisville a lot. I liked what I saw in that Notre Dame game way earlier.
They showed some fight.
They showed a lot of fight in a game that they could have easily won.
Yeah.
I was disappointed, however, later in the season when they just barely squeaked it out against Boston College, even though BC was my upset pick that week.
Yeah.
So they're on the up. It's not hard to go from the up from where they were a year ago, but they're
very,
definitely
very
on
easy.
the rise. They're playing at home, and I think I've given you every reason imaginable as to why Louisville could win this game.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to.
Oh yeah, there's no way.
Spoiler alert, they're not going to. I'm not going to say there's no way. I think there's certainly a chance here.
Okay. Clemson would have to turn it over just like Georgia did to South Carolina.
Clemson has to have a Georgia type of game against Louisville to lose to Louisville. Okay.
Clemson.
That definitely makes sense. It's interesting though. Now with the ACC, seeing that teams like Louisville was in the past used to be the team that's like up at the top. I just rewatched a replay of the Clemson Louisville game where Louisville was number 3 and Clemson was number 5, and Clemson won that game at the very end. On the very last play, would have stopped near the goal line. And so it's interesting to see a little bit of that ACC Atlantic flipped a little bit now to where all of a sudden it's not Louisville that Clemson has to watch for. It's not NC State Clemson has to watch for, Boston College or Florida State or even Syracuse. It's Wake Forest.
Yep.
It's Wake Forest, man. I mean, how crazy is that?
It's pretty crazy, but they did lose to Louisville last week, though.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. So that's another reason I could have said, hey, Louisville, they might could pull it out. If they beat Wake Forest, who I think is a really good team, watch out. But what you say? There's still no way. There's still no way.
Yeah.
But if you are a Clemson fan, you need to go ahead and highlight that Wake Forest game. It's near the very end of the season, so
it should be a good one. It's at Wake Forest too, right?
Yeah, it is. It is at Wake Forest, so that could be a heck of a game. And it's unfortunate they lost to Louisville because I think if Wake Forest wouldn't have lost to Louisville, they could have kept rolling the table. We could end up college game day in Wake Forest. I mean, Winston-Salem, North Carolina. I don't know that they've ever had game day.
I think that would be the first time ever.
So that would be awesome. And maybe even still now with only one loss, if they could run the table, we could
get back in the rankings.
And maybe they could vie for that. But just a quick FYI, if any Clemson fans are watching, that's something that they do now need to circle because they're not Wake Forest anymore. They are officially Wake Forest. You can call them by their actual name. They run 90 a game, so that should be a fun one at the end of the season and just a couple of weeks before they take on their big-time rival, South Carolina. South Carolina actually has a rivalry game coming up tomorrow.
Yeah, big one.
A very big one, a very big test for the Gamecocks. The Gamecocks will be back at home, I think, 55 and rainy, so it should be fair conditions for an upset. Is that something you can call?
Oh, yeah, definitely. There's going to be multiple turnovers on both sides, I think. But I think Carolina's going to come up with the turnover that counts at the end. I think we score a defensive touchdown.
Okay.
And that pretty much wins us the game, just like the Georgia game last week.
I'm going to say that if you're a Carolina fan, this game couldn't have came at a better timing right now, not only because of all the momentum that's going down with the Georgia win, but also because of the fact that Florida just had a game last week against LSU where they got beat up.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough game for them.
Yeah, and then they got games coming up after South Carolina that are really big, and here they are sandwiched here. They have to go on the road against a team that's proven in the past to play them to the end.
Oh, yeah.
And it has all the makings of an upset.
And honestly, I feel like South Carolina's running game is better than Florida's anyways. So with it raining and it being cold, is this going to add to the fact that Carolina's going to win?
Yeah, I think South Carolina's running game might be better than Florida's, but I believe Florida's defense is a whole lot better, of course, than Carolina's. And
I could agree with you.
Honestly, I think it's better than Georgia's.
Especially their secondary.
Yeah, the secondary. The debate was on, of course, last week over who was really DBU. We had another question. This was way closer to the debate than LSU and Texas, I'll tell you that. But it was fair for both sides to claim that, and I think we saw that in that game last week to a fairly fair extent. So this is a heck of a, like you said, a secondary for Florida, and that could be a big-time key in this game because when I saw South Carolina against Georgia, before Ryan Holinsky got hurt, he was dropping a lot of dimes. I mean, he was dropping a lot of dimes, throwing the ball well. And even when Joyner came in to replace him, even he was throwing fairly well, especially compared to what I usually see. A game that really, in a sense, especially when Joyner came in, would have normally been like, okay, they're officially done now.
Yeah, that's normally when Carolina would fold pretty much.
Yeah, and they didn't, which was nice to see if you're a Carolina fan, and it gives you hope moving forward that this season could actually end up a lot better.
And I see that it was a must win for Muschamp anyways.
Yeah.
Pretty much because he had to win either, like he said in an earlier video, either Florida, Georgia, or Clemson. One of them.
He had to have it, and he got it, and now he's not. I'm assuming he's not going to be complacent. He's going to be searching for more. So we'll see how they're able to handle it. By the way, I'm actually picking Florida in this game because of the defense. I think if they can get enough pressure on whichever quarterback ends up playing throughout the whole game.
Their defensive line is pretty good too.
Mm-hmm. And do you have a injury update for us for Helinski at all?
They say he's going to play.
Okay.
But
they may just say that to make Florida have to prepare for both.
Yeah, that's what they're going to do.
Florida's probably going to be prepared for both anyways.
I think Helinski's going to play at least some.
Yeah.
He's going to start at least. But I think Joyner's going to come in.
It'd be good to see him back out there. I mean,
because Joyner, he's injured with a hamstring too, though.
Right, and
he wasn't 100% last week.
Yeah, exactly, and that actually got me thinking. It's like, where do you really go after if Joyner gets hurt and Helinski's still on the sideline? It's really looking bad. I don't know where you go.
No, we have another backup from actually Wren High School, Jay Urich.
Okay.
Which I feel he's a dual threat, just like Joyner is.
Yeah.
And I feel like he's pretty good too, but hopefully it doesn't come down to that.
Oh, that's interesting to know, though. Another local connection and another quick shout out. There's actually two Wren guys on that Carolina team. Bailey Rogers, who you and I played with when we were playing football for the Hurricanes. So quick shout out to him. I'm happy he's done well in his career so far. So a lot of local connections to watch for sure. That's pretty much it for our slate of games. We do have a couple of guarantees for you. I'm going to go ahead with mine first, actually, on this one, because I think you got one that's going to really shake things up.
Oh, yeah.
So last week I was feeling Temple. They were playing Memphis. Temple did not disappoint at all. And I don't know what it is, but I'm actually feeling the team that's playing Memphis again. And I'm going to go with Tulane. They're a 4-point underdog. Memphis is at home. But Tulane's offense has been sensational. I think Memphis's offense has been down from what we've seen in years past. I liked a lot that I've seen. If you watched earlier in the season, Tulane and Auburn game, they had them on the ropes for a very long time. And that's one of those Power 5 teams non-Power 5 teams that a lot of people tend to forget, and I think they should be watching Tulane.
Yeah, Tulane, they gave Auburn a test.
Yeah.
Which was pretty good.
Yeah, and they're playing good football, and like I've said a million times, definitely the best non-Power 5 conference, maybe better than a couple others in the Power 5, so you gotta watch, or at least keep track of that game. You know what? I guarantee it. Tulane gets a win. I think you got a pretty big one, don't you?
Oh yeah, I got Nevada over Utah State. It's actually a really big one because Utah State's favored by 21 points in this one. But I feel like I just feel like the Nevada's quarterback, he came from Florida State.
Yeah.
He went to Last Chance U, and now he's at Nevada. So I just feel like Nevada's going to win that one.
So if you
offensive game. Yeah. It's going to be a shootout.
Okay, so I guess not only if you're looking for a reason to watch that game, not only the fact that this guy right here is calling an upset, a really big one. You can see how that goes, but you might have some.
And I do love Utah State's quarterback.
But unfortunately, that's all we have for you guys today. I believe we may be thinking about making some podcasts later on down the road, so if we do end up doing that, we'll definitely let you guys know. But to be the first person to find out that information, you should follow us on Twitter at Fumble Fever. Go ahead and like that on Twitter and subscribe to these videos on YouTube so you always know when we got another one come out. We try to get one to you once a week, and so far we've been on pace with that and happy to do that. We actually had 2 that dropped today. So we just really thank you guys for your support. It has been growing steadily over the past few weeks, and we're happy for that. Thank you guys.
Thank you.